Welcome to Saturday versus Sunday, where we talk both NFL and college, but right now it's college, so let's talk football.
Let's talk football. We're doing our Iowa State Iowa review of the game yesterday. It was the CyHawk Trophy. What are your initial thoughts?
Well, that's 2 in a row, and that's the first time Iowa State has beaten Iowa at home in a while. So
Yes.
that was a big deal to get that one.
Mhm.
And I mean, Iowa just drags everybody they play into the same goddamn game every single time.
Oh, that's the first line I have written here. This is the most Iowa State game I've ever seen. Like it is, the offensive coordinators are absolutely fine for running the ball for no yards. Like when you like they just you keep at it. They just keep giving it to them. It's not getting a first down. Doesn't matter. We've got them right where we want them.
I wonder if, I mean, Iowa fans, if you're listening, why? What? It's just how it can't be. It's got to be philosophical at this point where he just does not care about offense at all and has this 1940s belief that he can run the ball, play defense, get a turnover, like all of these things. I mean, it's almost to the point where I think he resents offense.
Well, and it was, listen, I can't stand watching it. As an Iowa fan, I can't imagine watching that and being saying like, well, that was a good game today, or so, like just because and high flying offense is fun to watch. You might lose a lot because you have more turnovers or something like that. But as a football fan, I can't imagine these grind out boa constrictor games is something you enjoy watching. Now, saying that, it's, as bad as that looked and as few yards as they got, it was a one possession game. Like they were in a position to win it in the fourth quarter. So there is something to that style, but holy cow, is it not like super fun to watch for sure.
Well, I actually enjoyed this game once it got going, and I thought, I actually didn't expect anything else, but I thought, okay, this is what this is going to be, and it's likely going to come down to the very end of the game, which it did. And okay, so on the flip side, for an Iowa fan, it is nice to have a team that you can count on the defense. Whereas some of the other games this weekend, those fans, let's say Michigan State or SMU and Baylor, are looking at that saying, we're not stopping anything. We'd like a little bit of that defense. So it's kind of, I mean, it is what it is, right? Like a championship team has both.
Yes.
And Iowa has half of a championship team seemingly every year, which must make it even more frustrating for an Iowa fan because they're looking at that's a good enough defense to take us a long, long way.
Yes.
But it's such an utterly inept offense. Now, I don't want to take away from Iowa State's defense, which is really good.
Yes.
But this is the character of Iowa. It is a great defense, and it's a joke of an offense.
Well, and you're right. The first point was excellent, where it was that, well, all the points have been excellent, Barbin. Don't get me wrong. But
Thank
it was
you, Jeff.
whereas the Iowa brings you down to the Iowa game. Like, because Iowa State, I felt like at the beginning was sort of throwing it around a little bit, like, and had, maybe a little bit of tempo or something. But then within minutes, it just feels like Iowa's playing Iowa itself, and it's running the ball slow, methodical, like not punted back to them like it's so you're right about that. It was, and the only reason why it could go that way is because Iowa State's defense was excellent. So they're both defenses played amazing. The over under was like 43 or something like that, and it didn't even come close to sniffing the over. So
yeah, why didn't we take the under there?
Because it's 43. That's a Service Academy number. Like and these are not Service Academy teams.
Iowa's offense is worse than a Service Academy offense. That's for sure.
You're right.
Iowa's offense is just it's so goddamn bad.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, one of the biggest plays of the game was the Iowa State pick on that out route. Jesus Christ, that was. I mean, he saw that coming, and so that's what happens when your offense is so inept that the defense has zero respect for anything downfield.
Yeah,
and they're just staring at the QB. They're jumping every under route, and for good reason. Same thing was happening against Michigan.
Yeah,
Oklahoma's like, you guys aren't throwing this thing anywhere. Yeah. So, and I actually had we had an Iowa fan mention something about Gronowski, and I thought, what do you think? And he's like, cautious optimism. And with Iowa, it's just who's next, and none of them are next. But
I don't think it's really the quarterback's fault. I do think it's really the style and what they're telling them to do. Like, because it's but like to your point, in that kind of game, when you're running for no yards, your defense is clamping down, you're happy with the 3-and-out and punting back to him, it seems. You can have a turnover. A turnover is monumental, like in these games. So that you're absolutely right. That the interception by Iowa State, like you can't do it when you're that the Iowa does not play the game where they can overcome something like that.
not at all. And that's the point. They need to
Yeah.
be whatever this offense is, which is nothing, needs to be perfect at the little bit that it even does. But that's enough about the Hawkeyes. We got to talk about Iowa State. Rocco Becht is one of the best quarterbacks in college. You just have to say that about this guy.
Mhm.
And part of it's not necessarily, it's not like he has Sawyer Robertson's arm or the way he plays, but Rocco Becht has something. This starting to remind me a lot of Brock Purdy, this guy. And he is the guy who wins.
Coached by the same guy.
Right? and he just has it. Like whatever it is, he's one of the few who has it. Because I said this about the game against Kansas State earlier in the year. I said, okay, he's missing two what are now probably starting receiver. For sure, one of them is a starting receiver in the NFL after training camp, and the other is at least just only number 2 on the depth chart. I'm sure I'm sure we'll see both of them playing today. Like we're recording this on Sunday. So he lost 2 bona fide NFL receivers, and they still win. And it's Becht knows how to win. And this team, I said this before, winning's a skill. This team has that skill. They just know how to win games.
Well, and it was to your point, and I agree with everything you said. He's one of those things that I was really impressed with is that you can be in this kind of game where it's like 3-and-out a lot, not running the ball. It's as a quarterback, you'd be super frustrated because you want to throw it around and get a momentum going and things like that. And he was 18 for 27 for 134 yards. But the key thing for me was with that, just like you said, hold on, I'm pulling it up now. So this is in the fourth quarter when it's 13-13, the second last drive Iowa State had was 13 plays, and he had a 5-yard pass completed, 17-yard pass completed, another 7-yard pass, another 10-yard pass, right? And then they ended up with a field goal. Like, so that to me is really shows the moxie of this guy, where you've had nothing all game, right? You only completed, 18 passes, but it was like 4 of them was on that last drive, which is like, and that just to be able to stay in it like that is great. Like, it's a great characteristic.
Yeah, I'd say he's one of the most dangerous QBs at the end of the game. Like the other team cannot be comfortable if a game is close and you give the ball to Becht, and you're like, oh, we're kind of in trouble here because this is what I trust him now to the point where at the end of the game, it's actually surprising if Becht doesn't get it done.
Yeah. The only other thing I'll say too about Iowa is that in that type of style, if you're going to play clamp down defense and just run the ball control, I don't think they wanted their quarterback to have 16 carries and then their next highest running back have 11. Like you want your running back to have the most of the carries. So that was a little surprising by them too. But it's
just inept. It's just completely inept. And not to say that's not a credit to the Iowa State defense. That defense was generating a significant amount of havoc, 6 TFLs and 3 sacks. That's playing a decent portion of the game behind the other team's line of scrimmage. So
quite possibly one of the best nicknames in football, Dominique Orange, the Big Citrus. Gotta love it. And he's one of the tackles, the defensive tackles that's responsible for stopping the run so many times, and got some pressure on the QB. So that kid's amazing.
Yeah. So, I mean, Iowa State, all of a sudden, well, maybe not all of a sudden. I guess there was question marks coming into this year. I think mostly because they lost those 2 receivers. And they lost a DB who's also in the NFL. So it's 3 pretty significant players at NFL talent absent from the team this year, but they just look the same. They just look like they're just going to keep winning. And they've taken down, well, this is a little bit, this is separate. This is special. Winning the CyHawk trophy obviously has nothing to do with the Big 12 standings, but this is one of the most important things of the year for them is to win this game. And that's 2 now in a row. And And in the Big 12, they took down K-State, who was one of the preseason favorites. So everything just looks really good for Iowa State right now. And if an Iowa State fan's got to be happy looking at this team, thinking, okay, we're in this year, and the absence of two NFL players doesn't seem like that big of a deal.
Mm-hmm. No,
Not yet.
And you're right. That's the to start off with a Big 12, another team that's predicted to be in the top of the Big 12, Kansas State, to have that win, to win your rivalry game. And now they've got like Arkansas State, I think, up next should be no problem. They host Arizona, then at Cincinnati shouldn't be bad. Then it's at Colorado, a sneaky Big 12 game now too. And so they could be sort of like 5-0 or 6-0 going into that Colorado game, and that'd be really big.
And one player that super stuck out to me is Gabe Burkle, the tight end.
Oh yeah,
Iowa State. That was he only had a few catches, but they were so impactful, and one of them was just one of the best catches we're going to see all year.
yes.
So they're functioning with multiple tight ends. So maybe the complexion of the offense is different, but you got playmakers on the field. And one player I know that the Hawkeyes never want to see again is Kyle Konrardy.
Yeah.
Did you realize he hit a 54-yard field goal to win this game, and a 54-yarder to win last year's game?
Yeah.
Like they must just be, that's enough of this guy already. This guy's lights out. Like and in a game like this, it matters, right?
In a game like this, in a rivalry game where it's defense running not many points, right? We already said under 43 didn't even come close to the over. Those 3 field goals is colossal. So, and like you said, not easy ones. 50 plus yards. That's solid.
All right. So what can we say about both these teams? Let's get Iowa done first. They're the same. I don't think anything's changing on this offense. Good defense, and they're going to be middle of the pack in the Big Ten. And I don't think there's anything. At some point, I mean, do you think he's got to go? Do you think anyone can make him go?
It's hard to say. I mean, I don't know if in terms of the fan base, let us know in the comments, but it just feels like Iowa's the kind of place where if they go 8-4 or something, then they're okay with that, but it's for me as a fan would want, like, the style of game would be so frustrating. So I don't know, but no, they got UMass coming up and then Rutgers, and then it gets to the meat of the Big Ten schedule with Indiana, Wisconsin. They host Penn State, so it's going to be tough. So I don't know, but I mean, it's the longest tenured coach in football right now.
At this point,
So,
but maybe that means it's time to go.
Yeah, but Iowa State, I'm excited. We were worried about how much at the beginning of the season. We were worried about how much they lost, and rightfully so. With the receivers and stuff. But like you said, and I think it fits in great if they've got so that it's more tight end heavy this time in terms of the receivers, which I think fits in great with a solid running game and solid defense, which they really showed on Saturday.
Yep, just work with what you got, and the key thing here, I think the 1-2 punch at running back is good, and it might just turn into a running back tight end dominant offense. But the other thing here is you've got one of the guys at quarterback. I don't think enough media is talking about Becht. He's, to me, it's just he's in the short list of people I'd give the ball to at the end of the game. Like, he's probably going to get it done. He's on that short list for sure.
No, I think it's a good point about the 2 running backs, because it's a long season. And so having 2 people that they're fresh, at least later on, like whenever they bring in, this happened in the game that we saw against Kansas State, when they bring in Hansen late after hasn't had too many carries, he looks fast. Like he looks like the defense isn't ready for it. And I can't stop myself from saying Hansen, so hot right now. Hansen. Like I say it every time he carries the ball. I can't stop it.
He just looks like that one cut and go decisive runner. And I don't know. Everything's working. It looks good right now. And Iowa State fans, you got to be happy once you get into the thick of the Big 12 season. There's no other team that looks obviously any better than Iowa State right now. Like, I'm expecting this team to be in the mix the whole year.
Yep.
All right, I think it's a good place to leave it.
Yep.
All right. So for Jeff Dover, I'm John Barban, and that's your Saturday versus Sunday podcast.